Of my whole body. Good morning. It's Ify live today. Your favorite immigration lawyer, helping clients nationwide get their green card through family, through relationships. So come on in. Let's talk. Let's do this. Good morning, Arthur, Frank. I see a lot of you joining on TikTok. Thanks for being here. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So if you're not following me on any of these platforms, make sure you hit the follow button, turn on your notifications, because we come live every week to answer your immigration questions, talk about any immigration updates, and so on and so forth. So let's see who else we got coming in. Kwesi, Lord Mia. Were you in my other live before? Your name looks familiar. Abdullahi. Abdullahi, thanks for being here. I have some other people on Facebook and also YouTube. All right. Appreciate you guys for being here. Today we're talking about something very important. So let me pull up my notes, because my goal is to help you all be confident about your options to get a green card. Be aware of your choices. Someone in my previous live mentioned her spouse not cooperating with the process anymore. What should she do? So in this live, I'm going to talk about things like that, what your options are, and answer your other questions. Awesome. Thank you, Patricia, for being here. Awesome. So we're talking about how to start your green card process. This is important because your green card is how you are going to experience freedom in the USA. If you've lived in the USA for several years and you don't have your green card, you know how horrible that is to accomplish your goals. Okay, this is 2024. New year, new me, new goals. But without a green card, immigrants have a hard time accomplishing those goals, because it's like, what else can you do? Your options are limited. If you don't have a green card, you basically have to do jobs that you may not like. People won't end up paying you what you deserve because they're taking advantage. Okay, that's just the nature of human beings. They take advantage of situations. So if you're tired of being taken advantage of and you're ready to start your own journey in the USA, get your legal status, invite your family if you have family, because with family immigration, permanent residents, U.S. citizens can file for their relatives, right? You can file for your relatives to also get a green card and join you in the USA. So give me a thumbs up if you are currently in the process. I want to know how many of you are watching right now who haven't started. This topic is about how to start your green card. So maybe we can ask you all some questions about what you're doing as you're working on your process. Okay, I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients who need legal help filing their paperwork. Some people have complications with their green card application, so they need legal help. Some people have a more straightforward case. They're married to a U.S. citizen. They have a child together. They live together. It's all well and good. Maybe somebody was a student before. You're still on your student visa. It's all well and good for those situations. Limatic Road, you filed yours. Okay. Congrats. How's that going? How long have you waited? If you filed yours, let me know what's going on with that. I'm going to keep looking in the comments to see if there are questions coming in the comments, but I'm just going to talk about the the process, how to start your green card, how to get started. That's a very common question that we get at the firm. People call us with questions like, I don't know what to do. Like, I got married, how do I get started? Or some people aren't married yet, they still want to know how to get started. So this is the live for you. Kamoy Fagan, thanks for being here. We just started, so you're not late. Make sure you share this live with your friends and family, whoever's going through the process, who may have a question. If they haven't talked to an attorney yet, this is your chance to ask questions here. And if I'm missing your questions, just ask it again, because a lot of people are going to be asking questions on this live. So I'm going to try my best to answer as much as I can. I see one question from someone waiting since October. I'll answer that in a moment, but I want to confirm that people on Instagram can see me, on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all for joining. All right. So the first steps, if you're needing to get a green card, if you're watching this, you don't have a family member, the first step to getting the green card is having a petitioner. Okay. First step, having a petitioner. You need to have someone who can file your petition for your green card for you. That's the first step. Right? A lot of people come in on like a tourist visa and then they text me on WhatsApp and they're like, I came in on a tourist visa, I don't want to go back. How do I get a green card? I'm like, well, do you have a US citizen relative that could file for you? That's always my first question, because without a petitioner, you can't get a green card. Okay. Some people they don't have family members. That's understandable, because not everyone is going to have a U.S. citizen relative. So if you don't have a U.S. citizen relative, the next question you have to ask is, am I qualified for any self-petition? Can I file this on my own? Because either way, you still need a petitioner, right? Oh, that's cool. Patricia, you check that out on our Facebook and YouTube live. That's pretty cool. Right? Can I self-petition? So if the answer is no, maybe you don't qualify for VAWA, because to qualify for VAWA, you also need a family member to begin with, right? Or do I qualify for any other employment-based petitions that I could do on my own? That's the next question. If the answer is still no, you then need to move towards, well, do I need to get employment? Because your employers could be your petitioners when it comes to filing a green card. Your employer could file an I-140 for you if you qualify, if you meet the other requirements, of which at this firm we do mostly family-based. So I'm not sure what all those other requirements are, but I know the first requirement is that you need an employer. Okay, so to get a green card, first things first, I need a petitioner. I need someone who's going to stand on my behalf to the government, right? A petition, what does it mean? Literally in English, is like to beg for something, to petition, to ask. Okay, so you need someone who's going to stand in your support on your behalf, to say, I'm a U.S. citizen, I support this person to come in. This person is my husband, my wife, I need them to be here so we can build a life together. That's the gist of what happens with a petition. Okay, that's the first step. All right, and if you can get that, once you have the petition, you're on your way to getting the green card. All right, make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me and you understand the need to have a petitioner. I know some of you on TikTok especially are telling me you already started filing, so you know what I'm talking about. You know that somebody had to file this for you. You didn't just apply for a green card, right, without having a petitioner. So that's the first thing you need to get started. The second thing that you need to get started on your green card application is your required documents. I'll give you a list of required documents, the ones that I use while I work with my clients. So these ones are tested and true, and you know that if you have these documents, you are setting up your application for a positive outcome. Okay, with immigration, there are no guarantees, because it's just tough to decide, right? Because there are different agents looking at your application. It's tough to really point to one person and say, okay, yeah, this is definitely going to be approved. Even though our clients do experience approvals, we have like a 99% approval rating, but that's not because we guaranteed them approval. It's just because we put together the documents that are required. So I'll talk to you about these required documents in a bit. I see questions coming in. I don't want to miss those questions, so I'm going to answer those now as you all keep joining. Make sure you're sharing this live with your friends who may not realize that we come live every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, to answer questions, just general immigration questions, specifically about getting a green card. Okay, so make sure you share with your friends. All right, so I see a question from, I don't want to miss that one because that was the first person to ask. This was Rose, Limatic Rose. Okay. Well, I think the next question was from Esmeralda, actually. Well, Esmeralda, thank you for being here. I know we've chatted on WhatsApp before, and you always come into my lives. Hello. Thank you. So you sent in an I-45 in September. They sent you an RFE for the medical December. Okay, that was last month. You sent it back in January. When should you expect your EAD or AP? Well, if they ask you for a medical, they are basically about to approve your I-45. That's how that goes. Your medical is usually the last thing that they would ask you for if you're applying for a green card. And once you send out that medical, within months, you could just get your green card in the mail. And if you get your green card in the mail, that trumps any work permit or advanced parole that you're asking about, because that's what you want, right? Your green card. So Esmeralda, let me know if I answered the question. Give me a thumbs up. But essentially, yeah, once you send this medical, I send it out this month, just give them another 30 days and see what happens. It'll be a green card. And let me know on WhatsApp too if I was right. It'll be a green card, not a work permit. Okay, except there's any other reason why she wouldn't be approved. I believe this is for your mom, right? Or is this for you? I have kids in the USA. This is from Gratitude. I have kids in the USA, but I live in Spain. How do I join my women? So you have kids in the USA. Are you married to your kid's mother? That's important to know. Because if you want to come into the USA, Gratitude, you need a petitioner. Like I was saying, that's the first thing you need if you want to get a green card. You need someone in the US, a US citizen, a permanent resident, someone who can file a petition for you and then meet the other requirements. All right. I'm going to tell you all, I haven't forgotten to tell you those required documents. So if you have any questions regarding documents that you need for starting your green card, let me know. Any specific questions, but for right now, I'll give you the general required documents that you need to make sure you're taking notes, because this is important for your green card application. All right. Now, let's talk about green card through adjustment of status. That's the most popular one, even though there's green card through consular processing for those who are outside the USA. Like Gratitude, for example. Gratitude lives in Spain. If Gratitude is going to get a green card, he's going to do a consular processing because he lives in Spain. For someone who lives in the USA, like Esmeralda, filed an I-485. That's also a green card application. So it's different. So the required documents for these two processes are a bit different. But let's talk about the I-485 adjustment of status. The more common process to get a green card, which happens for non-immigrants who are in the USA currently. Okay. So if you entered the USA with a visa, you came in on a student visa, a tourist visa, a J visa. We've seen a lot of those lately. J visas do have a little bit of caveats on them. So make sure you're talking to a lawyer before you file to adjust your status if you're on a J visa. But essentially, for those adjusting, they came in, the first thing you need for your green card application as a non-citizen is your proof of entry. You need your I-94. Okay, without your proof of entry, you're not getting any green card. They need to make sure that you did not enter through the borders without inspection. They need to make sure you were inspected, you were allowed to be here first of all, before they even start considering anything else. Okay? Because you may be married to a US citizen, you may meet all that criteria, but if you did not enter with a visa, you will not be able to adjust your status. That's number one, very important. Okay, so proof of entry, I-94, you can find this stuff online. It used to be in your passport, but these days, I don't think they do it in the passport anymore. It's all online. Okay, so check that out. Make sure you have that before you start your application. This is for those currently in the USA. Okay. For someone like gratitude, excuse me, let me get my little drink over here. Yum. For someone like gratitude, getting the green card, if you're applying outside the USA, what you're going to need in your process, you're going to need your passport, just your identity documents, and then the most important one will be your medical exam. Okay, Esmeralda received the RFE for our medical because sometimes people don't send their medical with the application, which is totally fine if you didn't take the medical yet. For whatever reason, you just couldn't take it or you needed to submit your application like ASAP and you want to wait to do the medical, that's fine. That could cause some delays, but in 2024, I really haven't seen that being the case. Once we send out the medical, that's it. They usually get their decision shortly after that. So if you're outside the USA, you definitely need a medical. If you're inside the USA, you need a medical, but for consular processing, it's a little bit different because you need this to go for your interview, like your DS-260 interview to get your visa. It's a little bit different as to when you're gonna submit that, but you need your medical records, okay? So first thing, you need your proof of entry if you're doing adjustment of status. If you're outside, the next thing is your medical, especially for those outside the USA, you need to take your medical test. I believe it's going to be vaccinations. What else do they do? They do tests because I remember they did that TB test for me, of which I had to go back. I don't know what happened with mine. I think mine was like raised or something, and if yours is raised, you have to do an X-ray. I think that's what happened. So you do your medical. That's required for everyone. If you're watching this right now and you feel like you may not want to do a complete medical, meaning you don't want to take some vaccines, because COVID vaccine is now a requirement as of last year or whenever COVID vaccine became a thing. It became a requirement for immigration as well. And that has been stumping a lot of people because some people, for religious reasons, don't want to take those vaccines, and they just it's a problem because it's like how do we move forward? How do you get your green card? These are the things you need to start the process. Essentially, you need this to be able to qualify and potentially get approved. Without that, that's about it. Okay. But well, that's about it, except you get a waiver. Let me put that in there. So if you are needing something like a medical waiver or you don't even know what that is, reach out to me. Let's talk about getting a medical waiver for your green card application. Right? This is it's not something that you can, if the only people that I believe are not required to take it might be pregnant women and maybe children of a certain age. But if you're an adult, of which most of my clients are, in your 20s, 30s, 60s, you most likely will be required to take it, okay? All right. Limatic says she started her application in October and is waiting for a work permit. That's still pretty recent. October till now is just 3-4 months. So you're still in good time. Generally, a green card will take like 10 months if you're in Charlotte, because people in Charlotte have a great time getting quick approvals. Just, I think it's a population thing. But for people in other states, you can see 15 months. I've seen 24 months. That was like the longest ever that I've seen. So it takes a while. From October till now is still great. All right. I'm pretty sure I missed a whole bunch of comments because it just kind of went to the most recent one, but I'll try to answer them as we go along here. Let's see. other things you need to get started. I'm checking the comments, you all, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to ask questions. I'm seeing a lot of questions from people on TikTok, so I'm going to answer those and keep on discussing the topic today, which is basically how to get started on your green card process. So just take notes and make sure you turn on your notifications for next time we come live. All right. My heart, thanks for the roses on TikTok. My heart says, please talk about EB1. EB1. EB means employment based. So my heart, at this law firm, we do FB. FB means family based. So most of my conversations are going to be about family based. Employment based, the general gist of EB1 is that you need to be a person of extraordinary abilities, not like a superhero, right? But someone who has certain high level degrees and things that you can create job opportunities here in the USA versus being employed by someone. So that's one of the self petition ways I was talking about earlier. How to get started your green card, you need a petitioner. If it's family based, you need a family petitioner. You need a spouse, a child, a parent. If it's employment, you need an employer who would hire you. But for EB1, you don't need an employer. Okay, you can do it yourself. But most of the people that have come to me for EB1s have PhDs. I don't think you have to have a PhD, but you need to have some high level of education and experience and other things like that. Okay. My link is in bio to book with me. My phone number is there. You can just send me a message on WhatsApp, and then we can go. We can talk. Okay. I help all over the USA. Obina. We are located in Charlotte, but I help clients all over the USA because immigration is federal. It's all over the place. So we can help you for sure. All right. EB1 is not the same as NIW. Great point. Banknotes. Oh, I like that. Shmoney. Banknotes. EB1 is not the same as NIW. NIW is National Interest Waiver. It's still a self petition, but there are some distinct differences in the requirements in terms of how advanced your degree needs to be. That makes sense. For EB1 is a much more advanced category. NIW could just be a master's degree and some other things that you show to as to why you need to be here in the USA providing employment or doing some type of research or something that's going to benefit the national or benefit the USA. Let's put it that way. Okay. I think that's the difference. For EB1, you don't have to show all of that. You just need to show that you're highly placed and you've received all these accolades and so on and so forth. That's the difference, I believe. But make sure you're talking to an employment-based attorney because I do family-based immigration 90% of the time. Employment-based is really just a small part in immigration that is very unique and specific. So just talk to a lawyer about that one. Okay. Rich boy, adopting a child from Africa is possible for sure. It's a whole process, but definitely possible. All right. And if I miss your questions, my bad. I'm trying to answer as much as I can while also talking about how to get started on your green card process. Okay. If you're still enjoying this live, like the live, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends. Let's share this knowledge. Okay. More questions. Oh, Esmeralda, this one's for you and your husband, not your mom. Okay, cool. All right. Well, just let me know. What's up. I don't know if you all already got for the medical. You may not get an interview, but don't quote me on that because there are many times they'll be like, you're not going to get an interview, and then they still call you for an interview. So I don't know, but I think that getting your medical is a great sign. Getting your RFE for your medical is a great sign. Okay. How long does it take to get a green card if I marry a green card holder as an F1 student? Girl, Kamoy. In 2024, It's taking forever. And I just said girl because I think it's backlogged right now for F2A category. As a permanent resident, you'll be in the F2A category as a relative of a permanent resident. And that's backed up. I don't know the exact times right now. We're in the end of January. It could change next month because the visa bulletin changes every month. So check that out. But maintain your student status no matter what if you're going to do this, just in case that takes 2 years or more. All right, because you don't want to be out of status because your spouse is a permanent resident. All right. All right. Ayani says, excuse me, I'm not sure why something's always going on when I'm doing my lives, trying to distract, but they won't win. Okay. I'm going to sip on my juice and keep talking. Okay. Is marriage green card different from I-130 from spouse? Ayani, short answer is no, because marriage green card is just a term that we use. It's a lay term, for lack of a better word, a lay term to describe being a permanent resident. Okay, so it's not is the same thing essentially. I-130 form is the petition. The I-485 is the adjustment of status, which is the green card. That's how you become a permanent resident. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, we usually say you're getting your green card through marriage. That's why I'm called the marriage green card lawyer, because I started with mostly just marriages before we extended to families and other areas of immigration. So it's husband, wife, filing, U.S. citizen, permanent residence, just spousal. Okay, it's a spousal petition. It's a spousal green card, a marriage green card, whatever you call it. Okay, great questions, you guys. And feel free to ask me anything relating to getting started on your green card. I've discussed essentially the most important thing to know in getting started is having a petitioner, having someone who can file the petition for you. And the next thing is doing your medical exam. You don't have to do it right away, but it is a requirement. And after that, the other requirement is whether your spouse earns enough income to support the application. That's something that you need to know before you get started. A lot of people get started without knowing this stuff, and then down the line they find out that they need a joint sponsor, or they get an RFE or even a denial because they didn't figure it out in the beginning. So before you get started, you get your checklist. I'm going to write down all the things you need to know before even putting in that application. Make sure you know how much your spouse is earning. Make sure you've checked into getting a medical. You figured out where you can get it. You need to go to a specific doctor, though. It's on the USCIS website. You need to go to those ones to get your medical done. Make sure you have your passport. You need identity documents. This is for both adjustment of status and consular processing. Okay? You need those. So those are 3 things I've mentioned. Make sure you're taking notes, and I'll keep on answering the questions here on live, but make sure you join me in my other lives Thursday. If I don't get to your question, we're coming live again on Thursday. We're going to be live in the Facebook group on Friday. That one is more intimate, more one-on-one. So if you're not in my group, make sure you join so you can ask your questions within the group, and we'll have time to answer you. Okay, I see a lot of people trying to join the live. I'm not sure if y'all are part of this live. If you have questions, reach out to me on WhatsApp if we can't get to all of them right now, because there's a bunch of you and a bunch of questions. I'm going to try my best. Okay? All right. Let's see. Caribbean girl. As a British citizen, I only need an ESTA to enter. Okay, great. Can I still adjust status? British citizens or anyone in any European country or any country that is part of the visa waiver program, you can adjust your status. If you're married to a U.S. citizen in the USA, you have a chance to go through that process because your ESTA is still even though it's like it's not a visa, but you entered, you were inspected, you were paroled, you were allowed to be in here. The rule about the I-94 is mostly for people who enter through the river. I talked to someone yesterday and I was like, how'd you enter? He just said the river. I was like, wow, that must have been horrible, because I've seen things on the news about people losing their lives and things like that in those types of situations. So that's what they mean about entry without a visa. For a visa waiver, you are allowed to enter, so therefore you could adjust your status. I have several clients like that from Canada. Where was the other person from? Netherlands or somewhere else, some other European country. But it is possible, short answer. Okay. Thanks for the follow, you guys, and the likes and the shares. Thank you. All right, let me see what. Let me just take it off. My wrist thing was just acting up. My heart. I believe I answered your question about EB1A. Yeah. So thank you for that. Okay, I must have missed it the first time, but thanks for asking again, because I'm just scrolling through, trying to get through the questions before we wrap up the live for today. I hope it's been helpful to you all. Give me a thumbs up if you learned anything today. If you want to work with us, my number is on the screen or in the chats and the comments. You can reach out. But I'm going to keep answering questions till about the next 10 minutes and then we'll be done. Okay? All right. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I see 24 new messages. OMG. Okay, let me just scroll down and go through it. Let's move. Jose Muko. Most of you sisters are very, very what? What's your point? Well, you want us to be poor like you, or what? If you come at me, I'm gonna come at you. I'm sorry. I know I'm a lawyer, but I'm gonna come for you. Is it the best to open accounts before or after getting married? Well, it depends on you and your relationship. I mean, you can open an account at any time. Do you already share your finances and things like that? If you do, then you can have an account. There's no rule. The rule is that you should be sharing your finances. That's what they want to see. So whether you do it before or after, it's really dependent on your relationship. Plus, I don't even know if you came into the USA on what kind of visa, or like if that's going to cause complications for you. I don't know. But in general, you can share an account whether you're married or not. Okay. Daddy Shark says, I'm a green card holder. Can I file for my daughter who came across the border illegally? Permanent residents already kind of an issue because of the backlogs. If your daughter entered without a visa, she's going to face the same issues. She needs to do a hardship waiver in order before she can get her green card. She might still have to leave the USA to do that. It's complicated when it's a child. With spouse, the hardship waivers are linked to them being able to share their life, like grow their life. Like if this person leaves, nobody's going to be paying the bill, or emotional support, this and that. But reach out to me, Daddy Shark. Let's talk about your daughter. How old is she? Because she could have other options depending on her age. So there's so many things we could explore here with your daughter. Okay? So, Tyler Price, thank you very much. I like my glasses. It's from Warby Parker. I forgot the particular name of it, but it's pretty cool. Thank you. All right. Oh, Jose, I see what you're saying. You're saying most Americans, ladies don't pay taxes. I don't know what you've been dealing with. They pay taxes. If your spouse doesn't pay taxes, that's it. But don't say most of you sisters, because that's what I'm not having. Don't lump everybody up into the same thing. If you're having problems with your wife, just say that. Okay? So most of us sisters don't want to take money from innocent people. We actually work hard and do what we do. Those that don't file taxes, I don't know for them. Okay? Who else? Who else did I not answer their questions? Lima Tick Rose. I don't know if you're still here because you're one of the first ones that joined us. Thank you for your question and for being here, but I'll still answer anyway. Reach out to me by WhatsApp. Let's talk about this. But the question is it advisable to switch to VAWA before the interview? Before the interview for your marriage petition is scheduled? Okay, short answer, there's really no time. My advice is don't stay in an abusive relationship. That's just it. If your marriage is abusive, switching to VAWA is like the secondary thing that happens once you decide to step out of that abusive situation. So there's no whether it's before the petition is scheduled. In fact, whether it's on the day of the interview, so if you can switch that day, you can be like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore because there's been abuse. So you can switch at any point in time. You just make sure you're with a lawyer to guide you so that you don't fall out of status or lose anything along the way. Okay? All right. I think I got most of the questions, I think. Peace be still. So you must have just joined us. Marriage green card is 90% of what we do here. We do family-based immigration, which includes marriage and parents and child. So yes, I am the marriage green card lawyer. That's the first thing I started practicing. That's what I love to do. Mostly before I went to law school, my degree was in marriage and family therapy. So I love working with couples, and I think that that's just the foundation of everything. Because if a couple comes together in one mind and they have children, they're able to impact positive knowledge into their children, and that's how the society becomes better. Okay, it starts from the couple, it starts from the home. Okay, so I've just always been interested in everything relating to marriage, family, relationships. Okay, I could be like a relationship counselor or anything relating to that. But I'm a lawyer, so this works out. So I just chose this part. That's why I don't do employment based, because it's just not my interest. My interest is in families and helping children. I used to work with children before I became a lawyer. I used to work as a behavioral therapist. Just making sure they're doing their work in class. Most of them had like ADHD and depression and anxiety and all this other mental health stuff. And we'll give them coping skills to help them with their daily life. So that's how I ended up here as the marriage green card lawyer. Yeah, thanks for the question, Peace. Yeah. And thanks for the follow. I see a lot of you following and liking. If you're just finding me for the first time, again, I'm Ify. I'm a USA immigration attorney, the marriage green card lawyer. Help families get their green card, stay together. Daddy Shark, your child is 6 years old, so she'll definitely qualify for a lot of things when it comes to getting her status, since she's a minor. Okay. Gratitude, you need to reach out to me to get to answers. And when it comes to divorcing and all those things, that's state specific. I don't have answers for those. That's not immigration, okay? But yeah, Effie says, let's forward this. Okay. Effie says, oh, nice. I also studied psychology and he moved to the USA and exploring what career to continue. There's so many careers in psychology in the USA that you can pursue for sure. So It's so interesting, right? That's career coincided with being a lawyer. So it could coincide with so many different things. Within companies, they have therapists and people that help with, the mental health of the people in the company. You just got to find which company or which things you like doing, and you can just, fit in there. If it was schools or just social work in general, just general therapy, things like that. Okay. Gratitude. I answered your question before. If you're not married, there's no options. If you're married, you file the spousal visa. My question was, are you married to the mother of your children? That was my question, but I don't know if you answered that. Because if she's just your girlfriend and you have children together, then nothing for you. At least in regards to spousal visas and stuff like that. All right, guys. I think I've answered a lot of the questions. I missed some, I think. But we'll be live again on Thursday. Amy, I'll get to your question before we leave, but we'll be back on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to talk about everything immigration, answer your questions, especially when it comes to getting a green card so you can live freely in the USA. That's the goal. Okay, that's what I'm looking for when I'm working with my clients. I want them to have freedom and enjoy this America, okay? That's the whole point. That's why we're all here. So make sure you join us live again. Ask your questions. Let's see what Amy says. Amy says, I filed for I-601A in 2021 and still nothing. Any update on this form? Amy, I-601s are taking about 2 years, I believe. 601As especially to process. So you might need to maybe contact the USCIS or something, but I'm not sure. 2021, when in 2021? It's been over 2 years now, so you should be hearing something back. Okay. Wait time for merit-based green card is 10 to 15 months. What else? Can I call you today? Yes, you can call me 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays through Fridays. You're going to talk to somebody on my team, and then if we're a good fit, we'll talk, okay? Yeah, I think I got most of them. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Someone says, where's your office location? I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I help clients all over the USA. So yeah, that's that. What else? Yeah, okay. Well, thank you all again for being here, for joining us live. And I will see you in my next one. All right. Bye. Consultation fees are going to be when you click on the link in my bio, you'll see that. And to bring your daughter to America without a green card, I don't know. If you don't have a green card or you're not a U.S. citizen, I don't know. And your auntie cannot sponsor you because the only relatives that work for immigration is parents, child, or spouse, okay? Aunties, uncles, siblings work, but that's taking like 15 to 20 years. So that one's just by the wayside. But aunties, uncles, grandmas, nephews, all that stuff doesn't work, okay? Okay. All right. Let's end this one. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.